2021 was a year. And now that we got the negatives out of the way, let's talk about my favorite games of the year. Now, why am I posting this so late in the new year? Shut up! Alright, it's list time. I am a slut for Danganronpa. So, once I saw the creator of the franchise, Kazutaka Kodaka, form a new studio, and they announced that they were making a new killing game, I was all over that pre-order. In World's End Club, you take control of Ratchet, a kid who got put in this really weird underground amusement park with his friends. It starts off with you and your friends meeting this weird clown, I don't know what the piss to call this, named Pilopi, or Pilopi, honestly I kind of forget. And then you're all forced into a race to get these specific items before time runs out. But the catch is that each person has a wristband that has a forbidden action, and if that action comes to pass, the wristband owner is killed. But honestly, it dissolves into so much more. I mean, like, what I just told you happens within the first, like, 20-30 minutes, and then it just spirals out of control after that. Kodaka's writing skills are put on full display here, and while the story is great, the gameplay is rather boring and really bogs down an overall incredible narrative. You basically go left to right while doing extremely easy puzzles and some quick time events. The pacing is a little wonky, but I'd be lying if the story didn't push me to continue. I mean, sure, I could have watched a YouTube video on it, but being able to interact with your friends gave me a sense of belonging. It was really good. I like that a lot. Now, I know this game won't be for everyone, but World's End Club story is such a worthwhile experience. I had to put this on my list. So yeah, again, not for everybody, but maybe give it a shot, or, you know, watch it on YouTube. One of the two. I don't know. I'm not your dad. I can't tell you what to do. What if you could date swords? That's the question Boyfriend Dungeon asks for some reason, but I'm really glad they did. Part visual novel, part dungeon crawler, part dating sim. That's a lot of parts. Boyfriend Dungeon offers a fun story with some surprisingly deep moments. Like, the biggest strength of this game is its characters. Most of them. The writers did an incredible job creating interesting characters, as well as creating a downright terrible person. Y'all, not gonna lie, y'all did a very good job on that. Anyway, so you create your own character and basically set off on a quest for love in this very weird world. And yeah, that's really the premise of the game. So obviously this is a dating sim, so it's gonna have that, you know, visual novel aspect. But as I said earlier, there's dungeons, you know, dungeon crawling. So to do so, you go get one of your husbandos or waifus and you grab them and you go to these dungeons and fling them around and you beat the crap out of your enemies. Oh, wait, should have mentioned, they turn to weapons, so like, yeah. Bad boy dude turns into a freaking sword. Stab everyone. There's a variety of different weapons, so you can mess around with them all and see what you like. Combat is extremely fun, but I gotta admit something. I'm kinda bummed with the lack of dungeons. The ones they have are really good, but it left me wanting more. I wanted more Boyfriend Dungeon time. Not gonna lie, Boyfriend Dungeon surprised me in a lot of ways. I played it over the course of a weekend and loved that entire playthrough. I really hope that Kit Fox makes a sequel to this game because it was a blast. There were a couple games coming out this year that I was really hyped about. Games like Halo Infinite, Ratchet and Clank, and Elden Ring. But I'll be honest, there was one game I was super excited to get my hands on, and that being new Pokemon Snap. I absolutely loved the first Pokemon Snap on the Nintendo 64, so I was all over this awaited sequel. And you know what? It lived up to the hype and then some. I mean, I spent a whole 20-minute video talking about why I love this game so much, so I'm not gonna bore you guys with things I already talked about. But if you haven't watched that video, go do it now! And then come back and finish this video. I've always been intrigued by the Shin Megami Tensei games. I never played one before, so SMTV was my intro into the series, and man, did I love it. I quickly fell in love with SMTV's difficult combat, as every major fight had me on the edge of my seat. I love when RPGs incorporate strategy so well into their combat. It makes every single move worthwhile and feels like a necessary step to win. Nothing can be overlooked, because if you do, you're dead. I also really liked how you don't really need to grind fights either. It's more about your strategy rather than your level. But you want to know my favorite part of combat? Talking to demons. Listen, whoever did the writing for these demons deserves a pay raise. You know, not even a pay raise, a promotion to CEO of SMTV, because holy piss are these interactions terrific. I couldn't get enough of it. And look, I'm sure some of you may have seen some screenshots out there and you probably were thinking, oh, that's just a shitpost. Nope, that's real dialogue. Freaking love it. A surprising gameplay element to this game for me was its exploration. With some items acting as incentive to get you out and about, exploration was a blast. I always love going off the beaten path myself to try and find little secrets, and SMT5 rewards players to do just that. I was also pleasantly surprised that there were little platforming sections. Nice touch. This game would be higher on my list if it weren't for the story and characters. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I didn't care for the characters at all, and I couldn't tell you much about them because I never got invested. The story is rather bland and just felt okay at best. Like, it's very generic and goes by a lot of the JRPG tropes. It just doesn't do it for me. Sorry. Overall, this was a great introduction to the world of Shin Megami Tensei, and I absolutely loved my playthrough. Great game, great combat, just so good, but that story, combat great though. Freaking love the demons. So, some of my favorite gaming memories came from when I was in high school. Every now and then, my buddies and I would do a sleepover over one of our friends' houses and stock up on Mountain Dews and just play Halo until the sun came up. I quickly fell in love with the game's gameplay and thus ended up spending all my hard-earned Burger King bucks on the first 2 Halo games. Anyway, enough history. Piss on history. We're on to Halo Infinite, a game I was cautiously hype about. I was not a fan of Halo 4 or 5 story, so I really had to be sold on this campaign. And we'll get to that, don't worry. But first, let's talk about the multiplayer. It's Halo. But on a serious note, I do really like how a lot of the new guns feel. It's a fun time, and I feel like they took a step forward from most recent installments in terms of multiplayer. But it's not without some, but why though, moments. Like, grenades feel so watered down. I miss being able to make a warthog fly like 30 freaking feet in the air and hit someone for whatever reasons. I don't know. I always loved the wacky physics in Halo, which is why I found it weird that they have that in the campaign, which, again, I love, but why take that out of the multiplayer? And the progression system in place just isn't fun nor good. Like, sure, you get some experience for playing, but that's about it. Everything basically comes down to challenges. It doesn't matter if you did incredible in that match and won. If you didn't have any challenges for that game, well, sucks for you. Enjoy your 100 XP that you would have gotten even if you got 0 kills. Congrats. Sorry, I'm still a little salty, not gonna lie, but you know, screw that. Let's talk about the Halo campaign. I don't know why I did that voice. Halo Infinite's campaign is pretty good and overall very solid. I think Halo Infinite's story is the best since Halo Reach. The open world leaves a little to be desired. Like it's fun to traverse, but it feels overall shallow. Like, Halo Infinite could get rid of the open world aspect and you would get the exact same game. Okay, maybe not exactly the same, because, you know, there's little things to do, but just, I don't know, it's shallow to me. They could have done more. Okay, enough Debbie Downer stuff. This game controls extremely well. The antagonist is also pretty great, and I love all the characters that are brought in. This was the Halo story I wanted in Halo 5. I am so hurt by that game, I'm never gonna let it go. Halo Infinite is a step in the right direction for 343 Industries, and I'm very excited for the next installment, because I feel like the foundation they set forth in this game is going to help create an incredible Halo game in the near future. Hopefully, very near future. I want it now. But yeah, Halo Infinite, best Halo game since Halo Reach. Okay, so this entry may make some people mad because it's a little low on my list. But Metroid Dread is incredible, and my second favorite Metroid game of all time, right behind Metroid Prime. That's number 1. It's a close second, though, but Metroid Prime. After years of rumors and its first quote-unquote tease in Metroid Prime 3, it is finally here! Metroid Dread, the 5th mainline Metroid game. That actually sounds weird when you think about it. Because, like, hold on. Like, Metroid has been around since the 80s, right? So, you would think that there would be more than just 5 mainline games. I mean, like, sure, there's Metroid Prime. That's not considered a mainline Metroid game, which is weird and confusing. You know, it doesn't matter. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Just feels weird that it's the 5th one. That's all I'm saying. Let's not get into hypotheticals. Just move on and talk about how good Metroid Prime is. I mean, Metroid Dread. fun. I've always been thoroughly impressed with Metroid's 2D level design and how meticulous it all is. In this installment, every ledge, jump, and enemy is so well thought out to the point where they expect you to try and make shortcuts. It's very well done. I mean, in terms of sequence breaking, you can grab an item early on in the game that's supposed to be for later because the game developers fully expect their players to find these routes, even though you can't use some of these items yet due to story reasons. The feeling of exploration in Metroid Dread is unlike that of most other games. The atmosphere makes you want to take a cautious approach due to these bad boys right here. Freaking hate them. The world design does a great job at never having an area feel tiring or dreadful. The story helps with this because as the story progresses, it also makes every area you've been to feel fresh and new. And speaking of story, this is easily one of the best stories Metroid has ever told. Like, at too many games, I watched my buddy Trav guy lose his freaking mind while Revelations came to light. It's pretty fun. The boss fights are overall great and possibly my favorite part about this game, but man, okay, not gonna go into spoilers, but that final boss fight, whew, freaking tough fight, but the payoff, man, and the hype just kept going and going, simply incredible. If you've never played a Metroid game before, I highly recommend giving this a shot, as they give you a quick rundown in the beginning so you won't feel too out of the loop when it comes to story. It's a great game, well worth the wait. Just don't make me wait another freaking 20 years for a mainline game, Nintendo! Not gonna lie, I was worried whether or not this next entry would be a great game or the next Marvel's Avengers. Thankfully though, Guardians of the Galaxy not only put my worries to rest, but gave me one of the best gaming experiences of 2021. Guardians of the Galaxy puts you in the shoes of Star-Lord and takes you on an incredible journey with this lovely, dysfunctional group. Rather than going the route of, say, choose which Guardian you want to be, it puts you in position to make choices for your group, like siding with one character over another, or speaking up about an event that a character is trying to downplay or straight up lie about. And these decisions not only lead to fun dialogue quips, but also alter the story and how characters interact with you. I thought I would side with my boy Drax constantly, but then I found myself backing Gamora up quite a bit, and then a lot of backing up of the Groot, and then also Rocket. Look, it's hard to pick sometimes. I love them all. While I believe that Guardians of the Galaxy is easily accessible for people that have either just seen the movies or know nothing about these guys, the game shows a lot of love towards the comic book fans. Like, holy crap, I was losing my mind during some of these moments. I don't want to go into spoiler territory, but if you are a comic book fan, you're gonna love some of the surprises and cameos this game has. This was my biggest surprise of the year, and I cannot recommend this game enough. Not gonna lie, for some reason, it feels like this next game on my list hasn't received the praise and recognition it deserves. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart came out earlier this year and is arguably my favorite Ratchet and Clank game of all time. When people talk about their favorite games of 2021, I seldom hear Rift Apart being brought up, which is wild to me since everyone I know that has played it absolutely loves it. Actually, come to think of it, it's probably because PlayStation 5s are so hard to come by. Rift Apart brings Ratchet and Clank into this different dimension as they try to make their way home while also stopping Dr. Nefarious. This game also introduces Rivet, a Lombax from this universe, and she absolutely steals the show, or game, whatever, you get the idea. The characters are great and all, but it's the gameplay that takes center stage. I've had a collectathon itch, and Rift Apart scratched that itch and then some. Golden bolts are scattered across the worlds. There's armor pieces and these little cute bears. The cool thing is that these collectibles aren't necessary for completion, so if you want to play through the game for the story, you're free to do so, but you can collect all these things if you want to, and I'm the kind of person who likes to do that, so ran around and got them all. The combat is engaging and fun. You can run through the entire game by using solely your favorite guns, or you can try to max out each and every one of them. One thing I wish Rift Apart would have done in terms of combat though, is have more enemy variety, as well as having to switch to different weapons due to enemies having strengths and weaknesses. That's really my only gripe with the combat, to be honest with you. Everything else is solid. Also, this game looks absolutely beautiful. It's quite possibly the prettiest game on the PlayStation 5. So if you have a PS5 and haven't played this game yet, what the piss is wrong with you? Sorry, uncalled for. But still go buy it. So I went back and forth on putting this game at number 1 or number 2, but ultimately I decided to put It Takes Two as my number 2 game of the year. Yes, I agree with the Game Awards for giving it that award. Let's go! It Takes Two is a multiplayer experience where you and whoever you decide to game with play divorce the game. Okay, well, not really, but kinda. Cody and May are a married couple on the brink of divorcing, so they tell their daughter that they're gonna get a divorce, and, you know, she takes it as well as any other kid does. She ends up crying near this weird relationship book thingy and wishes for her parents to get along. So, you know, she acts this out with these 2 dolls that she made, which 10 out of 10, you are a great artist, girl. You great. Mwah, love it. Anyway, after whatever demonic ritual she conjured, Cody and May find their consciousness within these dolls and now are on an adventure to not only go back to, you know, their bodies, but they go to therapy as well. Well, again, kinda. Therapy with this creepy book who's like, hey, you should all learn how to do this stuff, and then throws them into these weird situations. Therapy is cool. Oh, before I go any further, I forgot to mention that only one person actually needs to purchase this game. So if one person owns it, they can share it with another person and play together online, which is super user-friendly and actually, you know, puts the customer first rather than, we gotta make all the money we can off of this game. I played via couch co-op with my partner, and it really made me miss the good old days of just playing games on the couch with friends. Yeah, It Takes Two made me pretty nostalgic, kind of weird. I thought that It Takes Two would be a pretty chill, fun time, but man, was I blown away by how fun and incredible the gameplay is. See, It Takes Two subverts your expectations and goes through all sorts of different types of gameplay. It'll go from a platformer to a top-down dungeon crawler to a third-person shooter somehow. All of these changes work well within the story, and they never overstay their welcome, making everything feel fresh and new. Nothing ever feels forced or just thrown in there for the sake of being in the game. Each area has a different feel to it, and the gameplay reflects that. And also, just like therapy, you sometimes have to grow and try different ways to grow. Just this time, as a player. It Takes Two also shines with its characters. Sure, Cody and May are cool and all, but this book dude is incredible. You great Mr. Dr. Hakim, you steal the show. But there's other colorful characters you meet during your journey, such as Moon Baboon, Cutie, or this vacuum that hasn't been touched or fixed in forever. It Takes Two is such a lovely 2-player experience, and I'm so impressed with Hazlight Studios that, look, you guys made me miss couch co-op games so much with this game. Go ask a friend or a partner or whoever to play this game right now. Just don't make a Tinder account trying to find someone to play with. Or do, you know, I don't care. Alright, gotta come clean. My favorite game of the year is Hoonie Pop 2. You see, in Hoonie Pop 2, your main goal is to bang. In all honesty though, my game of the year is Persona 5 Strikers, baby! That's right, the sequel to one of my favorite games of all time is my game of the year, which, like, yeah, doesn't sound too surprising until you realize that I am not a fan of Muso games like Hyrule Warriors or Dynasty Warriors. You see, I get bored with them rather easily and just don't really have fun with them outside the first initial hour of gameplay. So when I saw Persona 5 Strikers was going that route in combat, I was very skeptical. But suffice to say that Strikers was able to make the combat unique enough to stand out from other Muso games while also having that sense of familiarity. So if you are a fan of these types of games, you're gonna be right at home. Persona 5 Strikers takes place 6 months after the events of Persona 5. You and the rest of the Phantom Thieves reunite and decide to go on a summer vacation together since there's going to be a lot of big changes coming for everybody. So, y'all decide to do a huge camping trip, and literally not even a day into your vacation, you find out that there are some individuals that are able to control the hearts of others. So, naturally, the Phantom Thieves are off to stop them from abusing this power they somehow have come across, and try to figure out the mystery as to why this is all happening. Now, you can actually jump into this game without playing Persona 5, as they try to catch you up on as much as possible without going into crazy spoiler territory, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys, you're not going to get the full impact this game has to offer unless you play the first game. Like, I kid you not, I was all up in my feels within the first 30 minutes of the game. The gameplay is split up into two parts. Like the original game, while out in the real world, you can walk around and talk to your friends, do friendly side quests, shop, view shadows, sightsee, and gain some intel on your targets. They ended up condensing the everyday life of Persona 5 to where you can do many activities in a day and hang out with your friends, but also, like I said, they condense everything so, you don't have social links, you don't have to, choose which friend you want to hang out with today, you just can hang out with everybody. They took away some freedom and, open worldness, but it makes sense in this game. But speaking of friends, they also added 2 more party members, and look, I'm not going to go into details about them because I'm trying to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. Just know the second newest member is one of my absolute favorites in all of Persona 5. Like, original one, Royal, this person, top tier for me. Now, this game truly shines with its combat. Like I said earlier, it doesn't go the turn-based route, and instead it goes the Muso route. Rather than having hordes of enemies all around while traversing, they instead reside within these walking shadows. You can sneak up on them, attack, and then a horde of enemies within a confined space show up. Now, if you surprise attack them, you can do this all-out attack and completely wreck everyone. Also, you can switch between party members, aka, I can finally play as Ryuji! Freaking love you! Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and while the game is fast-paced, when using special moves, the combat slows down and you can choose where you're going to unleash your attack, allowing you to have a lot of control during combat. You can avoid as many battles as you like, but I would suggest against that as the bosses in this game are rather difficult, and you gotta go all out with them. However, there is a difficulty meter that you can change, so if you want to go through the game for the story, you can change the difficulty to match that. Look, all my homies love accessibility. I could go deeper into why I love this game, but that would go into spoiler territory, so if you want me to do a full video on Persona 5 Strikers, let me know, because if that's something you guys are interested in, I'll do it. I will gladly gush about this game for 30 minutes. But as for now, it was my favorite game of 2021. Hey, real quick, just want to say thank you all so much for watching this video. I love and appreciate all of you. Stay safe, take some time for yourself this week, do something you enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, guys.